Hello, Flosstube. My name is Megan, and this is Stories and Stitches. Welcome! It is so lovely to see you today. Welcome back to everyone who is returning. Welcome if you are new. It is September. I am filming this on September 9th. You should be seeing it on Tuesday, which I think is September 12th, or, whenever it is you happen to be watching it. You will notice that once again, I am in a new location. Not new, you've seen this location before. I don't know if this was the angle. I just spent ridiculous amount of time trying to get an angle where you could see me and I wasn't too far away. And I also, that you couldn't see my mic, but that I also wasn't too far from my mic. So you can see my mic because I could not make it not happen, but we're just going to pretend it's not there. Hopefully it's not too distracting, and hopefully it's in a good enough spot that I can still edit the sound okay for this video. But if you've been here for a bit, you may notice I am back at my sister's house. I am dog sitting, so I have two huskies kind of running around here. One of them may be outside. Hopefully we won't get too much distraction or noise from them. Also, I'm gonna try not to fiddle with my hair too much. No guarantees. I feel like every time I go to get on camera, there's something strange happening. So we're just going to accept it and embrace it. That is the state of the universe right now, and I don't think it's getting better soon because story time. I misbooked my hair appointment for the end of August, or for beginning of September, for a day that didn't work at all. And then, of course, the hairdresser is super busy and trying to schedule it around a bunch of other things. So booked it, finally found a date towards the end of September. And then realized the day after that was not going to work either because I'll be camping that weekend. So who knows when my hair is getting trimmed up and cleaned up. So we're gonna go with it and hope for the best. So as I said, we are into September. So summer is not officially over yet, because, meteorological year, whatever, calendar year summer ends September 21st or 22nd when fall begins. But it always feels a little like we're coming towards the end of summer once we hit that first week of September. Although it has been so hot here where I am. It's been in the 30s with, I think the one day had a humidity of almost 40, which for September in this area is a bit warm. A bit of a heat wave this week, and then it dropped considerably. I went out for a small walk yesterday, like around noon, I guess, expecting that it would have at least warmed up a little bit, and it was 13 degrees. So I was out walking just in my neighborhood in a shorts and a t-shirt, and I was freezing. I came back in and it was freezing. So that was fun. It's kind of where we're at this week. But it feels a little bit more like fall. So today is definitely feeling a little bit more of those fall vibes. Thank you all for your comments on my last video. As of right this moment, I am still terrible and haven't gone through, and I've read them all. I haven't commented back or liked on any of them. So that is hopefully going to happen today or tomorrow so I can get caught back up, and I got to get back in the swing of things. This week, so after I spoke to you, that week I went camping, and all the things that come with preparing for camping and then unpacking from camping. And then the last week of September, the Labor Day long weekend was in there. And then this week I'm back to work. So trying to figure out how that works for a schedule. So haven't really settled into anything yet. Haven't set up my routine. So we'll get back running. We'll get into routine. I'll get a bit better again at answering comments sooner rather than just before the next video comes up. That's on the agenda. But thank you so much for your comments. I loved seeing all the emojis. I loved seeing how many people watched to the end, and all of your comments. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was great. I love that. That part is so much fun, the interaction. So, and again, I will be responding. Yeah, it's been busy, and where we camped that last week was probably the worst place we've camped for as far as reception went. It was really hit and miss. So, anyways, long story long, we're back in the swing of things. I've been trying to plan out my creative work for this year, or for the next couple months anyways. That's where a lot of my focus has gone this week. So I haven't done a lot of stitching this week, but more on that in the stories section later on. So I think that's all my introduction. I again am going off of a minimalized script. I'm trying to settle into a routine of how I want these floss tubes to go. I am also going to, I say this, I'm going to try. I do a lot of pauses because I lose track of thought. And then I have to edit it all out. So we're going to see if we can do this with less Megan interruptions. Like, there are things that you probably don't notice as much, except for the odd time where there's a weird cut. But we'll see. I just know last time, between the extra long video and a few random stops I had to make, it took me forever to edit it, which I don't necessarily mind, but also if I can streamline that for future Megan, she'd very much appreciate that. We'll see how that goes. And then the one other thing I wanted to mention, because depending on how far you watched, you either saw me get into the tangent or didn't, but I have noticed when I edit how often I say the word so. And I don't know if I've used it to replace in a lot of instances, because I know that I shouldn't say that, but I also can't seem to stop myself from saying it. So we will see how that goes through this video. If not, we just, I don't know, might need to make a counter of it one time just for the fun of it. But all that being said, how about we get into the stitching? I feel like I've had little bits of progress on a lot of different things. I also, as I was going through, I have 9, I think, cross-stitch projects I've worked on, which seems to be standard. I seem to hit about 9 projects with varying levels of progress on all of them each video. I don't know if that's a lot per video, if I should be, I don't know. I'm not going to cut down how much I stitch or switch how I stitch. And I don't think that I don't think weekly videos would work, or that I could actually make them happen. Who knows? That could be a thing in the future. But either way, it's just an interesting thing I have noticed, that 9 tends to be a number that I land on, which is where we're at today. So let us get to the projects. Now, I have a disaster beside me because, as I said, I'm not at my house. I had to cart. I have more projects, craft and cross stitch, here that I brought with me than I do like clothing, because I'm only here for 2 nights. But it's okay. We'll get through it. It just might take me a second to figure out what project is where when I'm looking for it. So first up, I rolled, and I don't think I rolled this one on camera with you. It may have been when I rolled in one of my shorts, YouTube shorts, but I have Half the Fun. Yes, by Ink Circles. I have this in one place. I have it written down as Twice the Fun, and then I had it written down in Half the Fun, so I was worried I didn't know the actual title. Okay, I don't have the picture with me here. I will see if I can find a cover photo to put here so that you can see what it'll look like when it's finished. Okay, I talked about not doing any cuts and then immediately had to do one so that I could find a board to show you projects on. All right. Hopefully I have shown you what it'll look like when it's finished. Here is where it was the last time you saw it, which may have been in my whip parade. I don't know if I've worked on it since then. And here is where it is now. I have been working up into the corner, so this is the very top right corner. Watch me try to remember my left from my right. there's the very top right corner, and I am working on filling this section in. So I am doing this in pearl cotton, size 5. I'm doing it 1 strand over 1. It's 14 count Aida. I do not currently remember what color Aida this is. It's from Picture This Plus. I'll have to see if I can find what color it is. But I had found a variegated that I wanted to try by Hand Dyed by Rolanda. See if you can see the balloons are in the variegated. It's a green to blue. Then realized I had very, very badly done my estimate for how much floss I was going to need, and got worried that I wasn't going to have enough to do the whole thing. So I then went out and bought DMC a green and a blue that I thought matched pretty close. I can actually, let me show you the colors. And I am kind of rotating throughout them. So I have like a rough pattern that I'm going with for how I choose which color I'm doing, but it's very rough. So I think I had started off that green was going to be kind of some of the land travel, but then it switched a bit because that wasn't going to balance out. So anyways, these are the colors. This is the Hand Dyed by Rolanda, which is gorgeous. I love it. I love her flosses so much. And she's pretty close to where I live, so which is nice for shipping and to support a Canadian floss dyer. And then these are the 2 DMC I'm using. So I'm using 700 and 3846. And I think they're working out really well. I'm actually really enjoying how the colors are working out for that one. Let me show you again. So my plan for this one, if you've seen this design, you'll know that it's repeating. So what will be up in this corner will repeat in each section. So there'll be 4 balloons in the center. I only have 3 of them done right now, and then it repeats out. So I've split my pattern up, and at one point I had thought I could finish this year. That was earlier in the year when I, had grand plans. I don't think it's going to happen this year. Actually, I'm 99% sure it's not happening this year. But I've split it into 4 sections, and I think I'm going to aim to set myself a deadline for each section to get done in the hopes of having this one done by the end of next year. So I'd like to not take that one into 2025 with me. That's the plan. So, okay. I think I worked on that once for a total of 304 stitches into that one. Next up, I worked on Northern Nights by Dimensions, which I will put a picture of what it will look like when it's finished here. I really need to write down who the artist is on this one because I'm constantly forgetting. Okay, so if I can find the project. This one, as you know, is the one I take with me when I go camping. So I don't really have it as a focus other than I try to work on it at least once every time I'm either camping or at a cabin or some such along those lines. This one is worked in either tent stitch or either half stitch or full cross as the pattern calls for, and however many flosses. Sometimes it's 2 strands, sometimes it's 3 strands, sometimes it's 4 for this one because, as you know, Dimensions uses all those dimensions, uses floss to make that variation. I worked on this one twice. I did a total of 572 stitches, and again, that's either half or full cross. And there was a mixture, I think, this time of both. So this is where, oh, I guess I should show you. This is where it was the last time you saw it. Okay, and here is where it is now. I'm still working up in this corner. My goal has been to finish, work top down by page. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing the by page. I don't know. I haven't decided if I want to work all the way across and then to the down pages. I've run into the question mostly because if I keep going down here, somewhere right in here, I hit the tent. And the tent is half on this page and half on the bottom page. but I don't know that I want to keep going down. I also don't want to stop right there. So I don't know. We'll see. I might work a bit across. The Dimensions Gold Petite I did, I worked kind of all the top, finished that and all the backstitch, and then worked down progressively and kind of also worked in sections. But this one's a bit bigger, so I don't know. Anyways, Ramble McRambleson over here. I am really loving how this one is turning out. I love how the light's coming through. I honestly am in love with this tree so much. But yeah, I got quite a bit done on that. I don't remember where I was working. I think maybe in this tree down here, which is a mixture of black and green threads. Yeah, I'm loving that one. It's probably, unless it gets rolled from my master list. Actually, I don't even think it's worked into my master list right now. So unless I pick it up for a wild card because I'm really feeling it, I probably won't work on it again until the end of September. So you may see it by the next time, depending on when that next video goes up, because I will work on it when we are fall camping at the end of September. Yeah, okay, and I already told you how many stitches I did on that. Okay, we are up to, so project number 3 is, project number 3, I don't think I worked on it. It wasn't, did I work on it for spooky stitching? I might have worked on it in and around spooky stitching time last month. I also used it for at least 2, possibly 3 prompts for my Fandom Stitching Central because it worked really well for some of those prompts. It tends to work well because it has such a variety of things in it, so it tends to work really well for prompts. Anyways, what project are we even talking about right now? You might know because I mentioned spooky stitching. So if you're paying attention, you might know. If you're paying attention, if you are familiar with what I do frequently, you probably know what project this is. It is Tonight We Ride by Autumn Lane Stitchery. Whoops. There we go. And it is actually available now. So if you did not get this in the box last year, this one is now available on their Etsy site, I believe, and maybe from shops and stuff as well, but I'm pretty sure it's on their Etsy. And the other projects from that box will either be available shortly or they might be now. They were coming. So but this one is now available if you missed out on it in the box. And this was the one I worked on. I worked on it, as I said, I think I worked on it twice, but I used it for a bunch of different prompts. And let's not put that board in there. I'm going to lose track of, whoo, you almost heard a real big crash because a metal board falling on tile is not quiet. Okay, I just had to go make sure that I knew where dogs were because I had not heard from either of them for a while. So, all right, Tonight We Ride. So here is where it was the last time you saw it. And here, it's going to magnet to my board. Here is where it is now. I got done 738 stitches on this one. This is probably the highest amount of progress that I got done on anything the last couple weeks. And I was just loving it. So I finished this tree here. I think you'd seen the Grim Reaper last time, but I finished this tree up here. I worked on this fence down here. I worked on these stepping stones, and I think I might have done these 2, which I don't know if they're stones or headstones. Could be either with what the pattern is. But I have hit the bottom. So these 2 rocks, both of them I think, are right along the bottom. Obviously, I still have a ton more to do, but that is where it will go to bottom. I figured I would try and fill in some of these bits and bobs down here, which will make it a little easier when I'm working on the black that I can kind of just go across. And I just need to know where I need to end for the across. So I am loving this one. It's not going to be done by this year because there is a ton more stitching left, but might see if it can be done for Halloween next year, 2024, that might go on the 2024 plans. You can see I'm in planning mode. I'm in like, let's not just plan this fall, let's plan into next year, because that always works well. But I love how this one looks. I always love this one for sure. Okay, that one is that. Sorry about that. Encountered disaster with the needle minder. That's the problem with this one, is the needle minder, which is great. It's also, I don't know, it sticks to the board every single time, and the needle minder tries to escape. So I should just take it off before I show you, but that would make way too much sense. Okay, project number 4. I don't know, I feel like I am slow motion today. Project number 4 is Goldilocks by Scott Gustafson. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Where's my picture? Picture of it is all folded up. This is how it's gonna look when it's finished. There. And I am working this 2/1 10 stitch on 25 count. And I've lost my board. All right. Oh my goodness. We are on Flosstube number 10, you'll have noticed. And you would think I would know how to do this by now, but I am just messing up all over the place. Here is where it was the last time you saw it. And here is where it is now. So I think I've done some of this kind of more pinky peach color in here, and I've done a whole bunch more in there. I don't know, I've been kind of trying to color complete in this section. Not 100% because there's a few random ninja stitches that I wasn't gonna do one stitch for, but that is where that one is. I'm really happy with how this one is turning out. So this one is, I know I said that Tonight We Ride had the most progress, and I think it's mostly just because this one is half stitches, so I haven't, in my brain, it doesn't feel like as much, but I had 1,411 stitches done on this one. I worked on it one day, and I am at 2.29%. So I think I mentioned last video that sort of a mini goal for this one would be that I'd like to get it to 5% by the end of the year, which, I mean, only getting done 5% a year is going to take me a real long time to finish, but for this year, that's sort of my first mini goal on that one. And that one is still in the rotation as a focus piece for September. So hopefully that one will come up again in the next couple weeks. Next up, we have my spooky new start. I had mentioned that there was going to be one because the 31st also fell right in around the second new moon of August, or the second full moon of August, which felt like a perfect time to do a spooky start. And I did not get this into my bag yesterday and even told myself, don't forget to go back for that, and didn't. So I'm gonna have to insert some pictures of it, unfortunately. But I started the Bookcage bookmark, which, if you remember from my whip parade way back, and if you also watched most of the way through the whip parade, which was real long, I did this one for my smalls exchange for the cross stitch retreat that I went to in the spring. And it's a pattern that I love so much that I am making at least 3 more of them. So this was the first new start of it. This one is being done on green. I'm going to show you a picture of it here. This is how far I got. I have, I think, almost all of the flying books done on it. I'm also going to try to see, you might see a couple different pictures go up here. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of the sort of cover photo, because it was a bonus piece. For me, I'm all over the place. So Bookcage Bookmark by LolaCrow, and it was a bonus piece in her stitch along from last year, the Haunted Library. It was one that came out at the very end. So I don't know if I have a cover, like a cover photo or not. I might insert either a picture of my finished piece or her Instagram photo of what it looked like. We'll see. I'll see what I can find. I'll also put a picture of where I'm at on it. This is the one I'm making for my mom. She knows about it. It's on a green. I wrote down, I'll see if I can put the name of I think it's Herald by Picture This Plus, I want to say. And yeah, so I'm really liking how it's turning out so far. I have done 242 stitches on that one, and I used it for a prompt on my Fandom Stitching Central and also for spooky stitching. And maybe we'll also try and do it a bit more this month because it's a small one, so it'd be nice if I could get it finished, so kind of in and out in a month or so, but we will see how that goes. Next up, I worked on Beach Babes by Vicki Wade. This one is charted by Hade, Heaven and Earth Designs, and I am going to put in a picture of where it was kind of last time. I think I had done a few stitches on it before I remembered to take a picture because I was moving the Q-snap, so I figured I would take a picture of where it kind of is total right now. So here is a picture of where it's at, or where it was at when I moved the Q-snap. And this was one I had asked about last time, in the sense that I was trying to decide if I wanted to work towards page finishes, because the 1 yearly challenge for Fandom Stitching Central is you get points per page finish. So if I wanted to work towards page finishes or kind of continue on with how I've been doing, which was that I've been enjoying working on huge chunks of color and getting those done, which means I'm not getting tons of page finishes because I'm doing lots of stitches, but they all cross multiple pages. And I know at least one person had commented about how she doesn't really consider page finishes for her progress anymore for Hades, just because Pattern Keeper makes it a little bit irrelevant, and she likes the way she stitches doesn't work for that, which I think makes sense to me as well. I think I'm kind of just going to keep stitching with how I'm stitching it, going with the flow. But because I figure I may not get any page finishes this year, but at some point I'll get a whole bunch of page finishes, which will get me a lot of points for it if I continue the way I'm going. So that's what I'm doing. I did decide, I was working on all blue, like a blue last time, which I have decided I got a little bored with, so I switched colors. So I'm now working on a purple up in the top. Why don't I show you? Here's where I'm at now. So I'm working on, I've moved up to this really light purple up here, which kind of goes through this whole section along the top, and the majority of this color is in this top section. I think there's a little bit down lower, but maybe a couple hundred stitches, maybe, and that's probably not even that down further. So my current plan, and if I could use my phone, I would take a look, but I think there's something like 11,000 stitches in this color left, something like that. And as I said, most of them are up in here. So I'm thinking that that's going to be kind of my next goal, is to finish all of the purple that's up here next. I'm also thinking, excuse me, that because there's a lot of confetti down in here that I don't want to leave to the end or to do all at once, I'm thinking I'll work quite a bit up here and then maybe do one thread of confetti color down here and then continue up here, and then a thread of a color down here, sort of in between times that I work on it, just so that I can also fill in some of this down below, especially for sections where there's like little bits or 1 or 2 stitches here and there. I don't want to get this filled in too much and then have to struggle figuring out what individual colors are kind of left here, there, and everywhere. So that is the current plan for this one. Will I stick to it? Who knows? We'll see. But it's kind of been how I've enjoying stitching on it, and I'm liking how it's coming together this way. So that is, I think, how we're going to go with that one as we go forward. I haven't done as much on this one as I would have liked to in the last couple weeks. So I'm hoping to get back into this one and find like either a schedule or a plan or work on it for a little bit in the morning. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, I've done this one twice in the last couple weeks for a total of 594 stitches. I don't know what percentage I'm at on that one because I forgot to write it down. And it's on my phone, and you are on my phone. So project number 7 is Temperature Shelf by Grandma B. Wildin. This is my temperature sal for 2023, and currently leaning towards, I don't know if I'm going to do a temperature sal next year. I've really enjoyed it. I do like working on it and having something that I kind of work on each week. But I don't know. We'll see. This is the second one I've done in a row, and I haven't really seen any that are like grabbing me that like, yes, I want to do that one next year. So I may take a break from it next year. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, if I did, I would probably just find something different that I slot into that working on for an hour every Saturday. But here's where it was the last time you saw it. And I'm just going to show you the shelf I've been working on. So here is where it is now, down in the September shelf. And it has been, you will see, these here are my hottest color because it's been real warm. But then we take a jump, and the low temperature in this day, which I don't think you can see, then becomes the high temperature yesterday. So that was the jump we made. We went from 30s to like a high of 13. So 30 plus like 30 something with a humidity of almost 40 down to 13 with no humidity. And you will also notice that there's a gap. And I don't actually think you can see that there's just the 2 cross stitches, like the low temperature stitches. I have somehow misplaced the color for that day. I was doing a cleanup on the box, and I don't know if I put it away by accident or if I punked it to put into something else that I was working on, and just, I don't know. Currently missing in action, and was not in any of the projects that I have here with me at my sister's when I worked on it this morning, so couldn't really go on a mission to find it, and I don't have all my colors here, so that one will need to get done when I get home. Tomorrow probably. I'll try to do that one. But I did a total of, so I worked on it twice this last couple weeks for a total of 146 stitches, and other than that book that is halfway done, I am all caught up to now on it. So, sorry. As I said, I was hoping, so far I've managed to not get too distracted by dogs, but one of them just went up and jumped up on like a big crate thing. So, like looking like a super tall doggy right now. Okay, project number 8 is Mac Cheese. Let me see where he's living. This is by Mel Hill. Sorry, I didn't think I had a frog in my throat that much, and then all this talking was making me have to cough. Okay, so here's what he will look like when he's finished. Hopefully that doesn't have too much glare. And I have worked on him. So here's where he was the last time you saw him. I only worked on him once because he was rolled as my, is he a weekly? I don't know if he was rolled. I think he might have been rolled as the weekly because I don't think I've put him in my September like focus. I don't know. Either way, he was rolled as something. And there he is. I've worked my way up. I don't remember where I was last time, and now I'm kind of working down into here. Oh, I know, I did all this white, I think, this last time, and then a little bit of something up that way as well. I'm liking how he's turning out and the way I'm working on him. Goal would be to have him done by Christmas this year. That's a goal. So he's not on the focus for this month. Except for as like a side, I might work on him for Christmas stitching. I'm not sure yet. He's not on the focus for this month. He probably won't be a focus for next month. Although he may. We'll see. Would definitely be a focus for November, though, if he's still kicking around by then. If I haven't gotten on a wild spree of work on him and finished him up, he'll be a focus in November. I did 280 stitches on him, in this last couple weeks. We are up to my last project that I have worked on, and I worked on this one earlier this week, I think. And then just haven't done any cross stitch since. I've done a couple other craft projects this week just because they had gotten rolled, and with how kind of busy and where my focus has been this week, they were easier to sort of unwind with in the evening than to pull out a cross stitch with the time I had left. So this is Santa's Journey, and I don't think you've seen this one for a while. I don't think I've done any progress since my whip parade on it, I don't think. This is, oh, it is Janlin. I could not remember who this was by when I was looking. So Santa's Journey by Janlin. It's a very old Janlin kit. And it isn't one that's really in my usual style in a lot of ways. But I don't know, I really like it. We had it kicking around, and I like it. It's got that vintagey feel to it now at this point. I like it. And it was from copyright 1998. So a real old Janlin kit. I'm hoping that I've been able to edit out. Most of the time I can edit out the crinkles. So I'm hoping that you're not going to get a whole bunch of crinkles. But I don't know. I think I took a picture of where it was last time. So I think here is where it was the last time you saw it. Might have to cover my face because it's on a roll frame. And here, oh, it's getting me, is where it is now. Put that up here. Can you see? I think you can see. Here's where it is now. I have been working. Oh dear, look at this annoying thread here getting in the way. Okay. I have been working on, where have I worked? Oh, well, I mean, probably where the thread is. So I have been doing, oh, how do I even hold you? Okay. Yes. All the awkward. Welcome to Awkward Flosstube with Megan. Legs. I've been working on legs down in here. I was going to continue on with border, and then it just, I don't know, wasn't grabbing me. So we're working on legs. I think I'm going to try and finish the legs probably the next time as well, so that I can work a little bit on some backstitch in this area. But yeah. And I think I needed to finish one of the legs to make it a bit easier to get back into this border, because I didn't want to do whatever was here. I wanted to kind of keep up with the border. So finishing the legs will make that easier. That's where that's at. I got done. How much did I do on this one? 213 stitches. I think I used it for a prompt. Yeah, I think there was a prompt that had something with a tree, and this one has a few trees in the bottom and then also has a Christmas tree in it. So it fit perfectly for the prompt. So I did that one. I did not get done a lot of prompts yet this week. We'll see. I don't remember if any of the projects I have or that I'm planning on working on today and tomorrow will fit some prompts. I think they should, but I don't know. This week, just with getting back to work, got away from me a little bit. So those were all the projects that I have worked on in the last couple weeks, all the cross-stitch projects anyways. And I think, yeah, that is, okay. I was going to say that's it for this section, but it isn't. Let us move on to plans. I don't really have any new plans for the next couple weeks. I'm going to continue what I've been doing with both the weekly master roll. This week, my master roll wasn't done until like, I don't know, Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Got a little, I lost track of the days. Short weeks do that. So continuing with the weekly master rolls and continuing with my sort of daily rolls. Basically, the way it works out is when I'm caught up on daily tasks, or what do you call it, when I have no more daily rolls left, like I've done them all, the projects that were rolled for it, then I roll again. Sometimes I'll roll a little more frequently than that. Sometimes it's every day. Sometimes it's a couple times, like a couple rolls for a day. Sometimes I roll one and then it takes me a few days to do it. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm enjoying the rotation that it's giving me for the most part for right now. So I'll keep working on that. I'm going to try and keep getting a little bit of progress into a bunch of different things. And I'm also going to try and figure out how to fit Beach Babes into that so that I can get more done on that I'm getting done. Even a little bit a day or every couple days would be good on that one. But I haven't figured that out yet. And other than that, it's just the same plan as last time. Same rotation, same plan. If you want to know about what my plans were for September, I went into them in the video from Flosstube number 9. I think with the cards, I can link to a specific section. I'm going to try and do that. I'll try and link it here if you want to watch what my plans were. And other than that, I'm still going to just keep working on getting back into a routine, figuring out where stitching fits in, figuring out how I want to work that into my plans, and still get done everything else I want to get done, because there's a lot on the list of things I want to get done, which, as I said, we'll talk a little bit more about that in the story section. Current roles that are in progress up on the docket are my weekly role, which I believe is Tonight We Ride. And then my daily role that's up recently is Gamer Nouveau. So I have that one here, and we'll hopefully work on both of those ones later today, actually, depending on how long this video takes me to edit. I'm hoping to get both of those worked on today. And that is it, I think, for this week. I've already talked a little bit about my next video, which may be on September 26th as usual. But if not, it will be the first week of October. It'll all depend how that weekend works with camping. And I'm off on that Monday, so I may be able to get it filmed and edited and up. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It'll either be our normal 2 weeks or it might be 3 weeks before I see you. And that's it for this section of the video. So if you are just here for the stitching, thank you so much for coming, and I would love to hear from you in the comments and to keep chatting there. My question for you all for this week is, do you prefer to work on lots of projects in a rotation, kind of like what I've been doing lately, or do you like to spend more time on one? So not necessarily monogamous stitching, but put in a good chunk more on one progress, get a lot of progress done on one before you move on to something else, or one or two. Let me know. I'd love to hear how you manage your projects and what that looks like for you. And maybe you do stitch monogamously on only one project until it's done. Let me know that as well. I think I would say that's how I used to be, but even then it's like fuzzy. I did work on mostly one project at a time way back, just because that was sort of all I had or all I was given at the time, but I was always working on other things as well. So I don't know if it can be fully considered as a fully monogamous stitcher or not. Okay, so we are going to move on to other crafts. I have actually worked on 4 other craft projects in the last couple weeks, which seems like a lot. I don't know if it is a lot or not, but it feels like a lot. And I think it feels like a lot because I've done most of them this week, actually. I don't know if I did any crochet or other craft projects while I was away camping because we were only gone for a few days. So I think I've done them all since we've been back. So for the last week and a bit. Okay. Bear with me for 1 second because my other craft projects are currently buried under all the cross stitch projects I just showed you. Okay, so look at this. I have brought a bag. I'm going to move it over to this side. This is where my projects most of the ones I've worked on are, and also I have a little bit of haul to show you because clearly I need more yarn projects. Okay, pretty sure I've replaced my excessive use of the word so with okay today because it's like my brain can't deal with not having a filler word and it just picks one. I worked on my orange blanket, so that was the roll from, it might have been the roll from a couple weeks ago, and I just carried it over because I knew I was going to be away, which I probably wouldn't normally do, but with being away, I might have finished it. I think I finished it before I rolled the next one. Anyways, I did 8 rows on this one, so really you can't, it's not like you can see a lot of progress for what I'm working on. And I don't even think I can get you to see the bottom, but it is good and long. It's getting long, so here we go. I think we have about this much length. I think I want to go at least this much more again, so maybe halfway-ish done. It's making me look real orange. Everything is orange over here. And I did 8 rows on it. So I had made a mistake. Let's see if you can see. So the way this pattern goes is it's a 4-row repeat, and it should have like a band in the middle. Here I have 2 rows of band, so I clearly messed up, but wasn't taking it out because I think in the grand scheme of this blanket, it's not actually that big of a problem. So I did these 8 rows up here. And with this one, it is easiest to work in 4-row chunks. So I kind of aim for an hour because I think it takes me just over an hour to do 8 rows, just under an hour to do 4, depending on if there's a gap in between or not. But the pattern is a 4-row repeating pattern. So when this one comes up, the goal is to do at least 4 rows on it, if not 8. I mean, a really good goal would be to have it done this year, but that I would have to work on it much more regularly than I have been, but we'll see. Hopefully I can get some more done on it. At this rate, it's never ever getting done, but at least I have finished one of my other big blankets, so this is the only one in progress for that one. Okay, next up, I worked on my Halloween gnomes, which I'm pretty sure I showed you last time and had done the first green body. So we have 1 green body done. And I started in on a purple body. Didn't get it finished. I think I'm halfway done it. Might actually, it's not rolled, but I could work on it later. Anyways, half of a purple body. Yarn on the run. Half of a purple body. Done. Yeah. And then, okay, I gotta find that in a minute. And then I stopped on that one. So that was about an evening's worth of work. I don't remember if it was an hour or not, but give or take. So that one is a focus for this month for sure. Even more so than the orange blanket. That's kind of why I'm not bumping that one up in focus, because I'd really like to have those gnomes done for Halloween. So they will continue to be a focus for this month. And then yeah, so I have half of his body and then 1 more body to do, and then the rest of all the bits. But I found the rest of the bits on this one didn't actually take too long, so we'll see how that goes. My third project that I've worked on is my Christmas gnome ornaments, and these I don't think you've seen yet. You probably saw them in my, I think I probably showed, did I show them in my, I don't know if they would have been in my other crafts whip parade because they weren't started. So I rolled these as from my weekly master list roll for other craft projects. And these are a new start, which does that fit with trying to get things done? Probably not, but I do want them done for this year. So, you know, anyways, enough rambling. These are my Christmas gnomes. They're from Mary Maxim. I'm not sure who made the pattern, because sometimes they're patterns that they get from other people. Anyways, Christmas gnomes. And I've started with this gray one here. I worked on it one night, give or take an hour, but I did one little gnome body. And it's so cute. Like, look at this. I might bring out the Halloween one to compare, but look at how cute his little body is. It's so tiny. I ran into a bit of a problem at the top, so the top is not as nice and neat as I normally like it because I had to take it out, and then I think I lost a stitch somewhere, or didn't lose a stitch, but didn't take out quite enough. Anyways, the pattern said you basically decrease down to 6 single crochets, and then it tells you to stuff it. And like, I'm sure there's a way to stuff it in that teeny tiny hole, but that wasn't happening. So I took it back out a little bit to give myself a little bit more room to stuff it. So, I probably would have put a little more stuffing. I don't know. I'll work it out for the next one. But that's his little body. Let's see. Let's compare. Look at this. He's so small. But yeah, they're challenging because it's so little, but it was a lot of fun. It only took one evening to do. I'm probably not going to work on that one until it comes up in the rolls again because it's not a focus for this month. So unless it happens to come up in a weekly roll or in one of my weekly master list rolls, you probably won't see it again this month because, as I said, there's other things that need finishing, but it was fun to work on. It was fun to work on the one day when I worked on it. Okay, I have one more project that I have worked on before I show you my 2 pieces of haul. And this is, where is it? This is my socks. So I don't think I have a picture of last time because I'm terrible. I'm terrible at this. But I hadn't done much past the heel. So I think I had just finished. So here's the thing. I worked on this 2 days for the same roll. So probably for a little over 2 hours because the first day was spent trying to figure out where in the world I had left off. So I had keeping track and I had it stored in my phone. But when I counted the stitches I had left, it didn't add up. So based on what my row count said, I should have been done all my decreases for the gusset, like getting into the foot here, because there's sort of a decrease down. You pick up stitches for the heel and you decrease down for the gusset into the foot. And based on where it said I was and the size I'm pretty sure I'm doing, fingers crossed I've picked the right size. I don't know. Based on all of that, I didn't have the right number of stitches. I don't know. It looks right. So either way, I did not have the right number of stitches. And I'm almost wondering if I've done, okay, look here. Almost wondering if I was somewhere I switched to reading the wrong size of pattern, because I have a little bit of a difference here. So I'm a bit worried that somewhere along the line I got myself mixed up. And anyways, it wasn't getting taken out. There's a chance that one is a slightly wrong size. I don't know if the previous one is bigger. I don't know if this one is bigger. I don't know if it's just the way I'm holding it. Regardless, it took me a very long time to figure out because I had 63 stitches left, which was one less than I would have needed if I was doing the medium. So one less than where I should have been if I was doing the medium, and one more than where I should have been, and 3 more than where I should have been if I was doing the small, which I thought I was doing. So none of that made sense. I spent way too long trying to figure out where I was at. Finally decided, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm doing this size. We'll go along with that, and fudged the wrong stitch. Did one more round of decrease and then did one extra decrease the next row before I moved into all knitting. So I don't really know what happened there. Is it really a project a knitting project if you haven't made one mistake somewhere? So I'm thinking, looking at it, that I don't know, they look mostly right. I'm just very unsure because I was pretty sure that I had done, I don't know, I was pretty sure I'd done a small. But I remember that the way that they told you which size to do was a bit confusing because it was like, you measured your foot and then you were supposed to do 10 to 20% less. Like take the circumference and do a size that was 10 to 20% less. The problem with that was that 10% less made it a medium, 20% less made it a small. Give or take. So I don't know. hopefully I'm gonna find that they're not two different size socks that I'm working on here, or that I'll end up having. And next time I do one, I will do a better job of writing down what size I actually worked on. So with all that, here is where the sock is at. I am into the foot, I think. I know I'm into the foot. And I think, I mean, these two aren't started at the same spot, but I have about a couple more inches to go. Probably at least one, a little bit more than one more band before I get to where I need to be. So lots of just knitting in the round is what is happening with this one right now. Knitting in the round and hoping very dearly that I've made the right size. But yeah, that's where we're at. And I think, as much as I'm rambling about this stinking sock over here, I actually, once I figured out where I was, I only had a little bit of time to sort of knit on it, which is why I decided to work on it another day. And I was enjoying it. It's at such an easy, just like knit in the round spot right now. And so I don't know, I'd kind of like it done by the end of the month, but there's so many things that I want done at the end of the month. I swear, as soon as I get in my brain, I'm like, I could totally have this done by the end of the month. Then I say another thing I could have done by the end of the month. I'm like, I'm not on vacation anymore. I don't know how much time I think I have in my days. So many things, like band starts up soon, other things start up. I don't know. We will see. We'll see how it goes. But mini goal in the back of my head would be that it'd be nice to have that set of socks done by the end of the month and then be able to move on to the next pair. If not in the next couple months, at least in the new year, to be able to move on to the next pair of socks that I have to do. But those are all the other craft projects I've worked on in the last couple weeks, and really in this week, because I think I did most of them this week. Because that was sort of the kick I was on. I was on a little bit more of a yarn craft kick this week than I was on a cross stitch one. So, okay, I promised you that I had 2 pieces of haul. We went to Mary Maxim before the fall fair last weekend. Last weekend, yes. And I, of course, could not help myself, but I bought 2 more amigurumi crochet critter kits. I was gonna get one and a thing of coasters, and then just one I've been looking at a lot recently and was like definitely getting. The other one I've been looking at for a while, and they're just so cute. So I caved because, you know, why not? I need more of these in my life. First one is my little crochet kitty. Isn't he cute? Here, why am I showing you through the package? Anyways, this is how they come. Let me show you. This is how the kits come. I'll show you the picture better in a second. Has all the yarn, has a few little yarn balls down in the bottom. For this one has quite a few little yarn balls because of all the different colors that he has in him. These particular kits don't come with the hook or any of the stuffing or anything. There he is, which I kind of like. They don't come with a hook. There were other ones they had for a while that did come with a hook, but it made them more expensive. And I already have hooks. Like, I don't need a new hook with every kit that I buy. But anyways, look at him. He's a kitty and he's a Christmas tree. He's so cute. So he was definitely coming home with me. And then the second one, again, all the yarn that I need in there. You'll see the colors. You can probably guess it's another Christmassy one. Let me get them open here. This one, the pattern is a book. I think partially because it's a different, yeah, it's got a lot of, it's a different designer. So there's a bit more to this pattern. There's a lot of pictures of him and stage pictures, which is kind of nice because, as you'll know, my one bunny I'm working on ran into a problem because there's not enough instructions in it. But look at him! He is Dear Ollie is what he's called. He's by Uliana Kazakova. And honestly, is that not the cutest little red-nosed reindeer you have ever seen? Like, look at his little pajamas or his snowsuit, whichever one you prefer. I was in love with him, so he had to come home. But as you'll see, his book is quite a bit bigger because there's a lot of like pictures in it showing you how to do it and where to put things, which is kind of nice. I'm trying to see. I'm distracted and just looking. So there are at the back of this pattern, there are little there's more pictures of him in different angles that you can see. Like, so this one down here, look at this. His little hood can go up with his antlers sticking out. Is that not the cutest thing you have ever seen? So yeah, anyways, I am very excited for that one. I have no idea when I'm going to get either of these started. In theory, I'd love them to be both done for Christmas. I don't know how feasible that one is, but you know, who knows? It could go either way. I might get on a real tear and just go, 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 go and get all the Christmas amigurumis done. Wouldn't that be something? But we shall see. I love them. I love them. I love them so much. And we'll definitely also be probably checking out this designer. That is one of the really nice things when they partner with a designer, is that you can learn about new designers and you get to go see what other patterns that they have out and available. Anyways, I think that with all that rambling, that is it for my other crafts. Plans for that, I am going to continue with just the rolls. I think I'm going to continue rolling. I have the three projects picked plus a wild card that I'll keep on rolling. And hopefully we'll stick to, as long as I don't get distracted and decide to like finish socks or something like that. But that's the plan for the next few weeks on crafts. So if you are here for just the crafts and the cross stitch, thank you so much for stopping by. Let me know what other craft projects you're working on right now. Do you do like I do and buy way too many? And like, then you have a storage issue because where do you keep them all? Or are you really good and you only buy one at a time and finish it at the same time? Let me know. And if you, as I said, if you're just here for the crafts, thank you so much for stopping by. I will see you the next time. We are going to move on to stories. So it's funny because in my notes I don't have much for this section today, and then I have like a whole bunch of points of things. So a little bit inconsistent on my part, but I think it's more I don't have a lot of new things for this section. I was away and I've kind of been down. I think I've been doing a lot of things that are just similar to what they have been, but that's okay. Books. So I am trying to get myself back into the swing of reading and listening to audiobooks. I don't know, I've gotten really off and I miss it. And like I'm at that point again where I'm like, I really want to work this in to my schedule somewhere. So we'll see how that goes. If anybody has any tips for sort of getting back into the swing of reading, like I normally read a ton all the time and just haven't this year or last year. So I think part of that was with work. There was a lot of burnout happening, and for various reasons over the last couple years, and that just sometimes that leads me to read more, and sometimes it has the opposite, and then you just don't have any of the brain space to do it. So I think that's been part of it. But I want to get more in reading, even if it's just little bits. Like I need to. That is what I love to do. And also very much true that like reading assists in writing and doing creative projects and stuff. So I just need I need to rework that whole part of my creative life. But all that being said, I have started an audiobook. It's an Audible original. I think it must have been one at some point that was like a free with your Audible subscription. So if anyone has an Audible subscription, it is called The Grand Hotel by Scott Kenmore. I'll see if I can put a picture of it here. It's a 10-hour, 40-minute audiobook. I'm listening to it a bit sped up. I have about 7 hours left, so about 3.5 hours into it. And it is a creepy vibes book. I don't know what it's classified as, but it's probably a little bit horror, but not, I mean, thus far it's not intense horror. It's more towards the creepy. It's set in a creepy, spooky hotel that there's definitely something going on. I think there's ghosts. It's definitely spooky, definitely creepy, definitely has some unusual residents that are long-term residents of this hotel. It's almost set up like an anthology, so a series of smaller stories. Each chapter is kind of a smaller story, but they are all connected through a through line with sort of a little girl who is there who has the ability to see through the hotel in some ways that no one has before. So I'm enjoying it. I've listened to it one night or one evening. And hopefully we'll do a bit more of that this week, would be the plan, unless something else comes up on my library wish list, because those ones tend to take precedent because they have a set time on them. But I've been behind on those, and I think I've accidentally turned off notifications somewhere, so I'm not getting notification when books are available. I have to figure that out, because I'm really good at going into my app, my library app, after, and like I see it briefly, like this book is available to check out, but then the app refreshes and it's gone. So I'm doing something wrong. Anyways, but yeah, this book, The Grand Hotel, it has very spooky vibes. It's got that really spooky fall, Halloween-y feel to it. So I'm enjoying that one. And then, as I've said, I'm trying to get back into the swing of reading both with audiobooks and my like physical book TBR that I have. And so the next book I want to start reading is, because, you know, when you haven't been reading for a while, it's always a good idea to pick up a huge chunker. But this one has been in my like pick me up. It's been, you know, speaking to me from the bookshelf for a few months now. I had picked it up. I've taken it with me camping. Haven't picked it up yet to read. I've marked off some sections of like chunks to get through. I think I have it in like either 25, what did I do? 50-ish page, I don't know, chunks, something like that. This is Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. It is a high fantasy novel. It is book 2 of the Stormlight Archive series. Book 1 ended on such a good point, kind of a cliffhanger, but kind of like everything was starting to come together, because there's lots, if you're familiar with Brandon Sanderson at all, there's so many points. Like there's lots of different storylines that are all kind of starting to weave together. So I really want to get back into it. I have the feeling that if I can pick it back up, I will get back into it and get on the flow and get into that groove of reading. I just haven't got to it yet, but hopefully trying to find a way to work this into my plans a little bit better, to actually do some reading on a daily basis or a semi-daily basis. So that is books. Shows, I haven't been watching anything new. I mean, I don't always watch things that are new. I started a rewatch of Grimm. As you'll maybe have noticed, I've been in that spooky fall vibe mood. So I started a rewatch of Grimm. If you aren't familiar with it, it is a fairy tale retelling, kind of. It's based on the works, the fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm, with sort of a really interesting take on them, in that there are kind of those typical fairy tale creatures are real, but in a different way. So it takes a different spin than, say, Once Upon a Time does. It's kind of that same fairy tale retelling vibe, kind of, but takes a totally different spin in that it's like the Brothers Grimm were writing, their work was based on a real life where some of these, Big Bad Wolf or other fairy tale like creatures or mythological creatures are actually real, which I really enjoy. I love different types of fairy tale retelling. So it's one that I enjoy and I enjoy rewatching. And it has those spooky, kind of darker, I don't really know if it's spooky creepy, but I think it kind of is. But it's that darker atmospheric vibe that I've been enjoying. I think that's the only show I've really been watching. If you have watched Grimm and know of any other shows that are kind of a similar vibe or feel or theme even, really, let me know. I'm always kind of curious to find some that are that type of creepy, spooky, dark. I don't like anything that's too horror, but sort of somewhere in the middle there is what I like. Games. I have played nothing different than I've told you, despite the fact that I have been pretty much consistently playing my Switch almost every night. Not quite, but almost every night for at least a little bit of time. But I haven't played any computer PC games. And the only Switch game I have played is My Time at Portia. I am currently completely immersed in that. That is the one I want to play every single night. But that's also something I'm trying to work into my schedule, is playing some new games and also games that I have been neglecting, sadly neglecting. And I also know that there are a bunch of new cozy games that came out in September or are coming out in September. So I'm hoping to play some more of those, and I have a whole bunch of demos I still want to play, like, oof. And me over here just playing My Time at Portia. But the story has been progressing at My Time at Portia, so I've been enjoying that quite a lot. I actually would be interested to know if you are a gamer or if you play video games either on Switch or PC or cozy games or non-cozy games. What have you been playing? What game are you enjoying right now? I don't know. I like to hear different ones. I want to hear more games, different types of games, what everyone plays if they play. And last up, but not least, my creative work. So you'll have noticed I don't think I've talked about it at all this summer. I haven't done a single word on my novel. I haven't looked at my novel. I haven't looked at any other creative projects. The only non-cross-stitching type thing I've done, creative project, are these Flosstubes this summer, which has been great and kind of kept me going a little bit on that track. But it is back to routine now. I gotta figure out how to get myself going. So that is actually what I've spent a lot of my time on this week. Not actually doing the creative projects, but trying to put together a schedule and plan for the creative projects and how I'm going to schedule those in and how I'm going to balance them, because I would love to be working this towards a career at some point. Ideally, my whole creative projects, so not necessarily Flosstube or Flosstube alone, but novel writing and creative writing and all of that is what I'd love to be doing. So, and even if I'm not able to get it to a career, I want to be doing that. But I want to pursue that. Long story short. So, trying to figure out how we balance all of that, how I balance getting my Flosstubes done and edited and all of that and up, and also some of my gaming channel, which I was really enjoying and haven't done, but then also prioritizing my novel and prioritizing some of that creative writing. And it's a lot. I bite off more than I can chew on a frequent, continual basis. So I'm trying to figure out how to schedule that. And I've been trying to figure out what type of plan and what type of schedule will work best for me that's not too restrictive. Because as soon as it's too restrictive, if I say you must do writing every Tuesday at 5, it immediately it all goes out the window. So it needs to be flexible, but also I need it flexible but defined enough to get done. My brain is a complicated place, y'all. You will find out. So that's been my focus. I have papers and digital planning, and I'm trying to do all the things. Eventually I will land on something, but right now it's just been a lot of everywhereness. The one thing I have done is just looking to see if I have it here with me. It's somewhere, but I discovered that the amount of sections, and sections is loosely defined, some of them are longer than others, but the amount of sections I have left to edit for my novel, for my first round of edits, is 16. And there are roughly 16 weeks left in the year, which just seemed too perfect to pass by. So I have drawn up a giant list, giant checklist. They'll all get me points towards my points program. And I have a deadline on each one for each week. And some weeks will be busier, some weeks are quite a bit shorter. And then the hope would be that I could get ahead on those weeks maybe, because the sections are smaller. But yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it's broken down into 16 sections, 16 weeks. In theory, that should be doable. Some of it's a lot. But I have a goal now, so you should hopefully hear me talking about that in the next video, because I hopefully will have gone through at least 2 sections, I think. So fingers crossed. But yeah, and then I'm also trying to fit in more creative projects, like maybe more Flosstube episodes or different types of videos. If there's any types of videos you'd like to see, I'd love to hear that as well. Still kind of trying to figure out what that might look like for me, what might work for me, what might work and not end up being too many things on a schedule that, you know, you only have so many hours in a day. But yeah, those are just some of the things I'm working on right now, some of the story-related things going on in my life. I think that is it. So still coming in at a long video today, but I don't think quite as long as last time. I don't think. I mean, I'm also hoping I don't have as much editing to do out, so, you know, could go either way with how long this video actually is, but that's it. My notes say, that is it, wrap it up. So super helpful, Past Megan, super helpful. But yeah, it has been great. It's been fun. I don't know how to speak. I have enjoyed spending this time with you today, showing you my projects. I think there's been a bit of rambly times. I hope everything made sense. I'm having this feeling that somewhere along the line I got off track in my haul and got took a turn, and so hopefully all of that section made sense. I think, I don't know. I'm not gonna backtrack back to there. So we'll hope it made sense. We'll hope that my sideline around that reindeer didn't go too sideways, because I don't know, somewhere I got distracted in my brain with thinking about the designer and all of that. But yeah, anyways, I need to stop talking. This whole wrap it up, like, that's not helpful. The wrap it up is the hardest part of Flosstube videos, is drawing it to a close. So that being said, I had so much fun last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever, with seeing all of your summer themed emojis in the comments. That was a lot of fun. So how about we try it again? And this week, I would love to see your favorite animal emoji. So it might be your favorite animal, so an emoji of your favorite animal if there happens to be one. But if your favorite animal doesn't have an emoji, then pick your favorite animal emoji. Does that make sense? Like, whatever. Some kind of animal emoji, and I'm pretty sure YouTube has them in it. I'm now panicking because I checked on my phone, but yeah. So chat, that's what I'd love to see. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you were working on during this video. I enjoyed, that was the thing. I really enjoyed seeing what you were all working on while you were watching this video. That was a lot of fun. Which I, of course, forgot to mention at the beginning, but that's okay. C'est la vie. That's how it works, right? Anyways, I thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you in a few weeks. Bye.